Hi friends, and welcome to this video. And today I'll walk you through each and every questions that has been possibility to be asked in CAD exam. So I guess everyone is who is preparing for this exam or who have just the knowledge of basics of the service now, then yeah, you are good to go with your CAD exam. So CAD exam is basically everyone knows that this is just an abbreviation of certified application developer that you will be required to switch your job or anywhere you are residing in your job, that it is required to go in your next level. So I'll walk you through each and every question. So I have pretty much prepared some of the questions. I was just I received this I received this certifications before 20 days ago, and I am pretty much confident that with these questions that I'll provide you in this video, that you can surely pass your CAD exam. But yeah, so and also, like, besides this video, if you're not confident with this video, then you can also do a research and find the dumb question of PDF, or you can just go with other YouTube video if you are feeling confident on that video. But trust me, I'm just pretty much confident on me that through these videos and your basic understanding of ServiceNow, so you will be able to pass your CAD exam very easily. So let's go to the question. So I'll walk you through the question one by one. So bear with me this video whole time. So just watch it carefully, like what is happening. Like if you know the basic of the service now, then yeah, you'll be able to crack it very easily. So let me share my screen and walk you through. So again, these are one of the questions that was asked in the previous CAT exam, and they pretty much repeats the same question. So I will recommend that it can be asked if you are watching this video in December 2025, January, February, then anyway, or after the February, then also you can watch this video because it will be pretty much like it will provide you a confident that yes, you know that and you are ready to go with your CAT exam. So yeah, so the first question will be, first question will be, which of the following are true for reports in ServiceNow? Which of the following are true for reports in ServiceNow? So your answer will be, as this is multiple choice question, so this will be your multiple answer. Okay, so the first answer will be, so you will get like many questions or many options, but the right answer will be first, can be scheduled, can be scheduled to be run and distributed by email, to be run and distributed by email. The second will be, can be run on demand by authorized user, can be run by, or say, can be run on demand authorized user. Say users. And third answer will be can be a graphical representation of data. Can be a representation of data. So you will get like many like 5 to 6 options. So these three are the correct. So other options are like any user can see any report shared with them, but this can't be true, right? And also the second, like all user can generate reports on any table. This is also not true. So out of these 5 options, so these three will be your correct options. Now going to second question. Second question. Which one of the following client-side script apply to record producer? Which of the following apply to following client script apply to record producer? And your answer will gonna be catalog client script. Catalog client script and catalog UI policy. Catalog UI policy. And you know, like most of them already, or I consider like you already know the basics of it. So we have the options in the navigation menu: catalog, client script, and catalog UI policy, where you used to apply the client side validations or the logics that you want to implement. So you go to these menus and apply to the record producer or the catalog form or the catalog item. So this will be your answer. This is a single option, and the other option will be like UI script and record producer script. That is not correct. And second option, you will get like client script and UI policy. That is also not correct. And UI script and UI action. This is also not correct. So only the correct option will be this one: catalog client script and catalog UI policy. Now going to the third question. When working on Flow Designer, on Flow Designer, the label of a field or configuring the label of field, configuring the label of a field in a child table, child table, say, child in a child table, changes the label on which table? Changes the label on each table. So when working on Flow Designer, configuring the label of a field in a child table changes the label on which table. So when you are doing kind of change, like you have inherited from the parent table and you are doing the changes in the child table, so where it will gonna change? So obviously, like if you're doing in the child table, so it will gonna change in your child table itself, right? And it won't affect your parent table, obviously. So your answer will be child table. And the other option you will say like base table, parent table, child table, all tables. But the current answer will be child table. Going to fourth question. Which of the following methods are useful in access control script? Which of the following methods are useful in access control scripts? So this is question from the ACL script where you have a small box you see like where you write the scripts of your ACL, like if control the advanced settings and all. So your answer will gonna be gs dot has rule, gs dot has a role, and current dot is new record. Current dot is new record. So you will get like other options, say guser dot has rule and current dot is new record, and this option gs dot has role and current dot is new record, and also like gs dot has role and current dot is new, gs dot has role and current is new. So your correct option will be gs dot has role and current dot is new record. Okay. Now going to the fifth question. Which of the following not a trigger type in Flow Designer? In Flow Designer. Okay. So you will have many options like record that you get in Flow Designer. Second option, you will get application that is also in Flow Designer. Schedule or dates, also you get the option Flow Designer. Outbound emails. So there comes to the answer. So outbound emails, outbound email. So this will be your correct answer. So as we don't have any options to set this trigger type as outbound email. Now going to sixth question. When configuring an ACL rule, configuring an ACL rule, or you can see like access control rule. So ACL rule, so both are same thing, which has no condition or script, which has no condition or script. Which one of the following statement is not true? Which is not true? So which one is not true? You have to look into like which of the option is not true. You will get many option like table dot the star, table dot filled, table dot filled, table dot none, dot none, table dot id, table dot id. I think most of them, like the basics of the ACL, then you must got the answer, I think. So table dot id so will not be the correct option. So I mean ACL don't provide this kind of functionality, table dot id. So this will be your correct option. So the complete option you will get like table dot id will grant access to a specific report. Table dot id will grant specific record. So this is not correct. That means you have to select which one is not true. Means this will be your true answer. And rest, that this grants the whole record. This records the field, and this doesn't apply to any kind of field. Or no specific field is applied when we use just table.none. So you got your answer. Now going to the 7th question. Which of the following statement is true for the form designer? Which options are true for form designer? Okay. So this is again your will be multiple answer. This is your multiple answers. Okay. That means you have to select the multiple choice or the multiple answers. So your answer gonna be create a new field on a forms table to create a new field on a forms table. Drag the appropriate data type from the field types. Drag the appropriate appropriate create field type tab to the form and then configure the new field. Here new field. Second will be To add a field to the form layout, to add a field to the form layout, drag the field, drag the field from the field type, from the field tab to the desired destination on the form, to desired destination on form. Third answer will be to remove field from form layout, hover over the field to enable the action button, hover over the field to enable action button and select the delete button and select delete button. So these three will be your correct choices. So again, you will get one more, like to add section to the form layout, drag it from the field types tab to the desired destination on the form. So that is obviously the incorrect, right? So you can't drop from the field type. So field type is used to create a new field of that type, right? And to create a section where you have created your category, or where you have going to, so you want to create one section there, then you can just go in your right side, like you have a main section there, and in the left side you want to fetch some formatter or something like data types, want to create new fields, then you go to the left side. So section is already there on the right side, so this first option will be incorrect. So these three will gonna be your correct answer. So to create a new field, drag the appropriate field type to the form and configure the field. And second would be to add a field to form layout, drag the field from the field tab to desired destination on the form. And the third will be to remove field from the form layout, hover over the field to enable action button and select delete button, this X button. Okay, so select all these three. Now going to question 8. So which one of the following is true for script include? Which is true for script include? Script include with a protection policy value of protected. With protection policy value of protected. So any one of them who don't know like what is script include? So script include is something like you write the backend codes. So say you have created one UI page and you want to retrieve some data from your table, then you use this script include, like where you create your functions and everything. So the backend basically stores in your script include. So where you fetch your data Like when you create a UI page, you have client-side logic to write client script, and from the client script, you write to call your backend data to fetch the table values. So where you use this kind of script include. So wherever you needed any kind of backend value and you kind of need a reusable kind of thing where you can use somewhere like an is a business rule client script or anywhere or like also in the portal widgets, like wherever you are using it, so you can just use this script include. So it is a kind of utility function where your backend data or the backend function stored. So you can just reuse this same function. So this is saying this question like it's in a script include with protection policy value of protected. So when this script include, you will get a protection value. So as a default, like when you're creating your own script include, then you just need to write a simple ACL, like who will be able to access it. So that one thing is necessary, but this is saying like a protection policy. So you will not get this kind of policy when you are creating a script include. But when you are just downloading something from your Now store, so everyone know like what is Now Store. So Now Store is a platform like where you can get various kind of custom application and plugins, anything like that. So when it is coming something from the Now Store, then they must be provided you with that protection policy there. So the protection policy answer will be it applies only if application downloaded it from ServiceNow App Store. ServiceNow App Store. Okay, so you have to select this option. Now going to next question. So which of the following, which of the following return true if logged in user is admin in server script, in server side script, server side script, like in script include. Say if you're writing script include and you want to check something in your condition, like and you are and you want to find and you want to return like true if the current logged in user is admin, then you want true in return value, then what will be the code line of that to get this answer? So you have to use this gs dot has role, and here you will write admin. Okay, sorry, this is just go ahead admin. You have to write this line, and through this line you will be able to get either true or false. If the current logged in user is admin, then it will return true, else it will return false. So you have to select this option gs.hasRole, and again you will get another options like gs.hasRole exactly admin. So when this we check this only when that logged in user only consists of this role and no other role. Okay, then in that case you have to use gs role has exactly, like gs has role exactly and in bracket. So here you can write exactly after role and admin the same code, and then you will get the true false, like if only exists that role. So and also you will get another options like gform dot has role admin, gform dot has role exactly admin. So these things all are incorrect. So here we got only option like if you have to find a true when this Like which of the following options return true if the logged in user is admin server side script? Okay, so this will be a correct option, gs.has role. So if they ask like has only this role, then in that case you have to use gs.has role exactly. Okay, now going to next question. When configuring rest rest message, the endpoint is the endpoint is so you will get various options again. Like first will be the response from the provider indicating that there is no data to send back. So this is incorrect. So basically let me know like what is the REST message. So REST message is something like you have integrated your external application and you want to fetch some resources there, and they have created some endpoints there. So by hitting that endpoint, you will be able to get the resource. Say you have created a Power BI dashboard and you want to show in your ServiceNow, then you can use this REST message. So obviously you have to create client ID and secret in your application registry first, then you will get inside that registry, and after that you have to configure one REST message so that you will get this dashboard resource, and according to your use cases you will configure your tokens and everything so that you will be able to get that resource. So basically you through the application registry you are getting inside the application, and through the REST message you are just accessing that resource only. So the first option, like the response from the provider indicating there is no data to send back, so that is incorrect obviously. The URI of the data to be accessed, queried and modified, so yes, this is correct. So the REST message basically says the URI of the data to be accessed, queried or modified. Okay, so you can do any kind of thing based on the REST message or the endpoint that your external application user, developer or anyone has created. This endpoint, say any REST message is created to do the modifications to fetch just only the dashboard that I just given an example for the Power BI, or some kind of modifications, then through this you will be able to do that. So this is what REST message indicates. So you have to select this option. And other options you see like the commands to the REST script to stop execution, that is also incorrect. The information about the format of the return data, that is also incorrect. Now going to the next question. Which application, I know my writing is very bad, so please just cooperate with that. Okay. Which application access configurations fields are not available? Fields are not available. Okay, you didn't like this. Okay, available. Which of which application access configuration fields are not available if if can read configuration field configuration configuration field is not selected. Is not selected. So what this question is talking, so like when you create a new table, right? So you will get various kind of options there to just what this control, like what do you want to do, and who user will be able to control this. So basically this access and any controls you want to do that, so there you have to decide, like when you go to any records of that table and just right click on that and do a configured table, and then below you see some of the checkboxes: can delete, and can access, these kind of things. So here the question is saying, like, if can read configuration is not selected, so if that checkbox is not selected, then in that case, so what will happen? So what will be your correct option? Will be like can read is not selected, that means what are the options is not available. Then other options like can create, can delete, can update, can update. This ordering can be changed, but these three options will also not be present if can read is unchecked. Okay, then these three will not be present. So you have to select this option. Wherever you will find this option, you have to select this option. Okay, I'm going to next question. How to see what what scripts reports another application and other applications artifacts effects will be present will be present in a published application. So your answer will be, so this is saying like how to see like your script reports and other application artifacts is in published state. So how you will be able to see? So you must know what is related link. So if you click on any of the records of the table or any of the artifacts or reports, so you will see below of that form a related links there. So you have to examine that related field or examine the application files related list in the application to be published. Application to be published. Okay. So I was saying like the related links. So below the related links, you can see the various related list file there that was associated with that record. So like it was going to other tables. So from there you will find able to find that which are the options available to be published or what is already published. So you can see there from the related list file. Okay. So this will be your correct option. Examine the application file related list in the application to be published. Okay. And going to that, like you will see other options like open the list of update set for the instance. So that is incorrect. enter the name of the application in the global search field. So again, this is not correct. How you'll be able to find that by searching that, like either this one is published or not. So this is incorrect. Open the artifact record individually to verify the value in the application field. This is not correct. So individually you can, it's not an optimal solution. So going to the next question now. I know it is pretty much slow, but trust me, it is worth it. So you will be able to just not going to just crack the CAD, but this is necessary to know the basics as well. So yeah, maybe you one of those maybe not liking the way that I am just showing this one, but trust me, if you go through this one of each one of this question, you will be able to crack your CAD exam very easily. Okay, so without just speaking useless words, so going to the next question. Like when a service now request info or information from a web service, this one from a web service. ServiceNow is the web service. So ServiceNow is the web service. So here what is saying, so from one ServiceNow instance, you have requested a data or information from a web service where this web service is also at ServiceNow. Okay, so what it is saying, so this is no, and you have requested, okay, requested data from web service. That is already saying that this is snow. So from one snow, you are requesting from other snow instance. So in that case, what will be your answer? Your answer will be consumer. So your service now is acting as a consumer. So the correct option will be consumer. And the other option you will see like publisher, provider, specialist or specialist, um, and a consumer. So consumer will be your correct option. Going to next question. Which is true regarding application scope? Okay, regarding application scope. Your answer will be application downloaded from third party. Third party. Third party ServiceNow application downloaded from third party application. Developer cannot have naming conflict. Developer cannot have naming conflict. Okay, so this will be your correct option. How this will be gonna be correct answer? So say you are creating one script include in global application with name XYZ and in customer service in CS customer service you're writing the same XYZ, then prefix will be added, say customer service dot XYZ. So here you can see you will not get a naming conflict. So the correct option will be the application downloaded from third party Snow application. Developer cannot have naming conflicts. Okay. Another option you will get like any developers can edit any application. So that is incorrect. All applications are automatically part of global application. This is also incorrect. Developer can choose the prefix for a scope namespace. That is also not correct. So if you are like writing application in a customer service, then a prefix will be automatically added as it is provided out of the box. You cannot edit this one prefix. So the true will be this one. Application downloaded from third party Snow application. Developer cannot have naming conflict. Now going to the next question. The source control used to store local changes on an instance later application is called an. So what it is saying is the source control use of uh, the source control used of not of it will be to okay you used to the source control used to store local changes on an instance for later application use called stash. So stash is used to store local changes on an instance for later application. Okay. And you will get another options like branch, update set, tag, but the stash is the actual one who stores your local changes. So this is used for the later application. Like this is the part of deployment, like when you have developed something in your dev environment and you are just pushing into another environment, say the test environment or the UAT environment, then through this source control, this stash where your local changes will be stored. Okay. So this will be your correct option, stash. Now going to the next question. In business rule, you see a predefined function was there, right? So the function will be like this function execute rule. Here you see current current previous and then comment like null async star close. This is commented. So but you will get this all here, this like this current previous. Okay. You current previous. So what this is called, so So you get this kind of thing, right? In the script field, when you write any kind of business rule, then in the script field you find this is predefined there. So what do we call this one? So you will get several option like anonymous. So we call it anonymous. No. We call it scoped. No. We call it constructor. No. We call it self-invoking. Yes, right. We call it self-invoking. Okay. So this line that is predefined in the business rule, we call it self-invoking. Now going to the next question. Which of one of the following not required to link ServiceNow application to a Git repository? Which is not required to link Snow application to Git repo? As this is a kind of integration, so this is not just limiting to the Git repository, but any kind of application you are integrating, anything you are sharing. So the basic things you will require is the URL, username, password. Okay, so these are the very basic needs. So this will always required, but here it is asking like which is not required. So usually you will get all these three options, so you don't have to select. So this is not correct. So as these are the basic things. So let me tell you, like on the integrations I was talking, right? So you need to give the endpoint, the username, password, like the service account that will be used to authorization, for authorization. So the correct option is application name. Application name. So the correct option is application name. Okay, this is your correct. As application name is not required. Keep in mind this is not required. These three things are required, and here it is asked not required. So application name is not required. Okay. Now going to the next question. Baseline behavior. Baseline behavior of a table in privately scoped. Privately scoped. Scoped application. Scoped application. Okay. So in this question, it is asking like, what is the baseline behavior, like a base behavior when you create any kind of table in a scoped application other than global. Say you have created any table in ServiceNow, or sorry, not customer service application. Then what will be the baseline behavior of that? So the baseline behavior will be all application scope can read from table, can read, sorry, can read from table. So this is the uh, baseline behavior. Okay, so base behavior, like when you have created your new table in customer service, then this can read will be as a default feature. So any other say you have created in other application scope other than customer service, so you want to access some data from that table that is created in customer service, so you will be able to access from the global as well or from other application scope as well. Okay. So this will be the baseline behavior. And the previously we have been asked like if can read is been removed, then what other things will gonna be affected, right? So the correct option was can delete, can update, and can write. And these kind of option will also be released if we uncheck this value can read. So yeah, this baseline behavior will be having like all application scope can read from the table. So this will be gonna your correct option, and the other option you will get like any business rule can read, write, delete, and update from the table. So so this is a tricky question, right? So yeah, so uh, if you have written any business rule in global and you want to fetch the data from customer service table, and you have not configured the configurations in your table, so through that your business rule will not gonna work. Okay, so there is another, I'll go in the future, I'll talk like what options you need to select, so that you won't require to create your business rule in customer service so that it work only in customer service. So you won't need to do that, just the configuration there itself, where if you can configure this option, so that after that, so you will be able to access through other scoped business rule as well. So this is incorrect. In fact, will be only this one. Other options were the table and its data are not accessible using web services. So this is not correct. Only artifacts in the table application can read from the table. This is also not correct. So all application can read from this table. This is correct only. Okay, this is correct. Now going to the next question. A web-based web. A web-based a web-based way of providing software to end user. Software to end user. So it is asking like what is the web-based way? What is this web-based way of providing the software to end user? So the answer will be the functionality within application, the function within application menu, such as opening a page, opening a page in the content frame, or a separate tab or window. Separate tab or window. This is your correct answer. Other you get like a way of helping user quickly access information and services by filtering the item in the application navigator. This is incorrect. A group of menu or page providing related information and functionality to end user. This is also incorrect. So the correct option is the functionality within application menu, such as opening a page in the content frame or separate tab or window. So what it is saying, like if you create an application module, right? So in the navigation menu, you create some table. So what is associated with your project? So you create like some table you created, and you create one modules there. So it is talking about that. So this is a functionality within application menu, such as opening a page. So either you open in the same window, or you have an option to open that in a new window, like so using href. So new window, you get that option. So it is talking about that. So this is correct one, and rest all are incorrect. Going to the next question. Which of the following write a message to the system log? Which of the following write message to system log, but not to syslog table? So usually, like when you do kind of debugging, so you log something in the code, right, to verify or do the validation to solve some bugs. So it is saying like, so which of the following, like there are different like gs.info, gs.log, and gs.debug, these kind of things, right? We have options. So there is it is asking like which one of the following is not right to system log but not right to syslog table, unless debug is activated. Unless you have not activated it. So which one is that? gs.print hello or world, anything. The message can be anything, but gs.print. So unless you have not activated it, so you have to activate it so that you'll be able to write in syslog and the system log in both the places, but you have not activated it. So in that case, if you are writing gs.print, then in that case, it will only log in your system log and it will not log in syslog table. Okay. Rest like gs.log, it will write in both the places. gs.info, it will write in both the places. You don't need to activate this, but for the gs.print, you need to activate first to write in both the places. Okay, going to the next question. It is asking for one of use case for REST API Explorer. REST API Explorer. Okay. So your correct answer will be create sample code for sending the REST request to service now. Okay, this will be a correct option. So let me tell you what is REST API Explorer. So to like when you are integrating some third party, like some third party application, say Databricks, want to use your resource based on the requirement, like if they want to query or just fetch the data. So you create some encrypted REST API, right? And they will just fetch this through the endpoint that you have created. So this REST API Explorer will allow you that your scripted REST API is working correctly or not. Okay, so you can test this without using the Postman. Okay, so but I would recommend to use the Postman as you have created your service account, and it will work based on like it is real impact. Like through the REST API Explorer, you will not be able to do the testing properly, like it can affect so something is happened with your service account, then in that case you will not be able to use the REST API properly, REST API Explorer properly. So use the Postman in better way, but here it is asking what REST API Explorer say. So through this, like you create a sample code for to use your like for sending REST request to ServiceNow. So as REST messages or REST request, I have already told you like this is some kind of resources that if you want to fetch it, modify it, so the REST message. So you have created already the scripted REST API and you want to test your scripted REST API, then you can just go to REST API Explorer and just test your codes there. Okay. Now going to next question. And scoped application, scoped app or application containing flow designer, particular application is called an. So it is saying like unscoped application containing flow designer to particular application is called. So what do we call it? We call it spoke. Okay. So it is a part of integration hub, obviously. So you can go and just learn about what is integration hub. So integration hub, like we do several kind of third-party integrations there. So this spoke is used like when any scoped application is containing your flow designer to particular application, then we call that application a spoke. Okay. So next question. So what is true for glide user? G user. This is not dash, this is underscore. Okay. Methods. So as a basic, I would tell you about the glide user is the glide user. Like if you want to fetch any kind of information about the user, then you use glide user. So like glide user name, email, user ID, timestamp, or various kind of thing. You can just can go to sysuser table and you can just find the field name and various things like if you want to do and want to check the roles, then there are various. This is a like a method where you will get several functions like guser dot has role, guser dot what do you say? There are get full name. This kind of things, get user ID. These are various things. So this is mainly used in client side. Just keep in mind that this is in client side. So what is your client side things that where you write it? So mainly you write in client script, right? UI policy, UI actions. So and script include, no script include, we use the server side. Okay. So this G user can't be used. We use GS dot get user ID in this kind of thing. So we can't use G user, G underscore user. So if it can be used, answer will be can be used in client script, UI policies, and UI actions. Okay. So client script, you know that you write the client script, anything you want to perform on your table record, and you don't want to perform in your database operations, right? So you simply use the client script and the UI policy, like you want to control some UI behavior. So there you can use, so it won't affect your database or the table fields, any kind of thing. So as I already told, G user is used on your client side, and the UI actions, the buttons, basically the buttons in the top of the form that you see, these buttons and the related links you create. So through the UI actions, you just control this kind of thing. So this is true. I'm going to the next question. Which logging is which logging method is not true? Okay, not true. In server side, in server side privately scoped, privately scoped application. Okay, so I think you most of them know like gs.info, gs.log, gs.debug, this kind of thing, gs.warn. So if you are writing in script include, and if you are want to debug something and you want to return in system log, then you use gs.info like most of them use, right? So gs.info will obviously work in say script include of the customer service that is privately scoped. Okay, so answer will be not true. So they have asked like which is not true, and you are writing in server side privately scoped application, like you have written any script include in customer service, and you want to debug and you have written gs.log your abc any message, so this abc will not be written. So they are asking not true. So this is incorrect. gs.log will not work in your script include of customer service. So instead of that, you can use. So correct will be gs.log, as this will not true. So as a information I can provide you, like you can use gs.debug your message, this comma and your message abc anything. gs.warn, you can use gs.warn here abc your message. gs.error, you can use gs.error abc. So you can use this kind of thing instead of gs.log. So this is your correct option, as this is not true. Okay, now going to the next question. Which one of the following is a list of link type? List of link types. Your answer will be assessment, assessment, list of records, separator, timeline pages, timeline pages. So this is your correct option. Assessment, list of record, separator, timeline pages. These are the list of link type. Okay. Other option you will get list of record, separator, catalog type, roles. This is incorrect. Assessment, list of record, content page, roles. This is incorrect. List of record, content page, order, URL, bracket from arguments. This is not correct. Only correct will be your assessment, list of record, separator, timeline pages. Okay. These are the list of link types. Now going to the next question. How many application menus can an application have? How many application menus can an application have? So this is pretty much what do you say, controversial question. So earlier it was used to correct like only one, which is used for all application module, but that is not correct. So yeah, you can have as many as many as application design requires. Application design requires. Okay. So like when you go to configure table there, you can create from one application menu will be created. So from there, if you want to see on that perspective, then only one will be created. But you, as you know, like from the custom, you can create as many as application menu that how many if you required. So yeah, you can create as many as, but through that configure option, you will be able to create only one. So as they are asking and not they are asking like from where you are creating, so you can have as many as application as how many you require it. Okay, so now going to next question. Which one of the following is not true for the weight field? Which is not true for weight field? So before going to the answer, so let me tell you what is weight and where you will be able to find. So first, as what I am able to recall, in the business rule, you will be able to find the weight, and in the email notification, you will be able to find the weights. So this weight mostly depicts. So if you have two business rule or two notification, and your condition for satisfying that to run that business rule or your not email notification, you will be able to so basically what weight does, this will just calculate after the condition. So both business rules have the same condition as it matches. Now in the script you have written different logic, right? So that can be possible. So this weight will be basically define your like which business rule or which email notification should be sent first. Say if you have a weight of 0, then and another one is weight of 1, then whatever the business rule or email notification having the lower weight will be sent first, will be given the more priority. Okay, so you will get different options like the weight value defaults to 0, so that is not correct. Okay, you can set as what you want. Only notification with the highest weight of for the same record and recipients are sent. No, what I said, whatever having the lower weight will be sent first. Okay, a weight value of 0 means that no email should be sent. So this is correct because it is asking not true. So the weight just reset everything like what I have said. So I was just going through the flow. So yeah, so at initial when you create any kind of record, okay, so you will be able to see 0 by default. It populates as a 0. So this is correct. And whichever the weight having the highest on the same record will be sent first. Okay, so this is correct. Highest in the sense value is lower. And a weight value of 0 means that no email should be sent. That is not true. If the value is 0, that should not be sent. That is not correct. So that is true. Weight is equal to 0 means email will not be sent. This will be your correct option, because this doesn't mean that if the weight is 0 and the email will not be sent. So this is correct. A weight value of 0 means the notification is always sent when the notification when to send criteria is met. That is correct. Like when your condition is meeting and your value is weight is 0, then it obviously will be sent. So basically whatever the value weight of 0 will always be sent, and not like this option weight 0 not sent. So you can check like one of the thing I have sent, like I'm not able to recall, but the thing that I said, whatever the option value says 0 and other is 1, and whatever value is having 0 will be sent first and the 1 will be sent later. That you will check. I think I'm just getting confused right now, but if I check, Let's just confirm it right now. Okay. Confirm it right now. Zero and other business rule or email is one. Which one will be sent first? ServiceNow. So as you can see, I'm just a normal guy and I can also be just confused or can just forgot the things. So you can just do ChatGPT or you can just do a Google search or whatever the search you prefer. So I'm just doing the same thing so that should get a correct information. This is not correct. See here, what is it in ServiceNow? Highest weight. In ServiceNow, when the weight is set to 0, the system will always send the notification if conditions are met. Therefore, the notification with the highest weight will be sent followed by 1 with the weight of 1. This ensures the most important notification prioritized first. So I was wrong. So yeah, whatever the value is highest, it will be sent first if the condition is same. Now going to the next question. When configuring module, configuring module, what does override? What does override? Does override application menu? Right, application role, menu role, configuration option 2. Option 2. So your correct option will be user with module role but without application role. Without application menu access the module. So there are two things like in the application menu you have created and one module is created. So you will need required to set the roles. So if in the application menu you have not given the access to that user the role that is required to see that application menu, and but you have given the role to access that module. So in that case, the user will be able to get inside the module without seeing that application menu. So usually how we do that, like if your table name dot list, you will be able to just go inside that that module, whatever it is defined. So module we usually set some filter and show the record based on the condition or the requirement, right? So if you have given the end user the access role to that module and not given the access to the application menu, so in the navigation menu you have not given the access of the visibility, but in the backend table you have given, means module role you have already given, then through that table dot list you will be able to just go inside that module. Okay, or just the link if you can just prefer. So by the link you will be able to get inside that module. So I was a little bit confusing you, but through that table.list, you will be able to see the whole record of that table. But this module through the links, if if that end user is just uh, writing that URL and hitting that enter, then they will be able to go inside that module without just seeing that application menu. Okay, so this is your correct. Now going to the next question. Which objects can be used in inbound action script? Action script. So this is multiple choices, means multiple options can be true. So I'm writing it multiple answer. So you have to select the multiple. So you will get menus like current, option B, you get producer, you get option C, previous, option D, email, option E, event. So your correct answer will going to be current, email, and event. And how? Let me tell you. So you will get the something like this in self-invoking the business rule. You have seen you like similar kind of option will be shown, like the function will be something like function here, run action, here you will see current event, email, logger, classifier, 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 classifier. You know, the just writing is very correct. So yeah, you will get to some code, and this one. So it will close here again like this, and here you will get current, event, email, logger, and classifier. So what are these included? And in the option you can see we have current, producer, previous, email, event. So from this we are able to find current, email, event. And if you get any other option like logger and classifier, that will also be true. So this producer and previous is not correct. So you need to check only A, D, and E, current, email, event. Now going to the next question. Select which one is not good fit with ServiceNow. This is basically they are asking like what are the requirements. Some of the requirements you will get that is not fit, right? So first option you will get use forms extensively to interact with data. So that we have the option, so we can obviously do that. So it is good fit. So that is not correct. The other option you will get requires reporting capabilities. Yes, we have reporting capabilities through performance analytics. You will be able to create the reports, right? And need workflow to manage process. We have flow designer there where you can just create the workflows. Requires as is use of low programming libraries. So we don't support that. Okay. So keep in mind that this don't support low programming language. It requires as is use of low level programming language. So we don't support this low programming languages. We know that like what things supports in ServiceNow. We supports JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Jelly, XMLs. These kind of things we support in the portal. We support the Angular 1.5x and Bootstrap you can use, but low programming language is not supported. Okay, so now going to the next question. Which is true for table with allow configuration, okay, configuration, application access menu, application access menu. So answer will be out of scope. Application can create business rule for the table. So earlier I was telling the same, so I'll get later. So this comes now. Okay. So through this, when you do configure table, so you will get an option allow configuration. So through this option, if you have selected the allow configurations, then in that case, if you have written any business rule in other application scope, then in that case, you will be able to write your business rule and it will perfectly work. Like your script include is in customer service and you have written a business rule in global application, then in that table, so like you have queried the table in your business rule through some customer service table, okay, and you will be able to pull that data. Okay, so there was something so wrong saying business script include. So the script include you will be able to get that right. So say if you have script include XYZ in CS scope, okay, then in BR, like you have global BR. So in global BR, how you write it? Like you will able to use customer service dot XYZ. So through that you will be able to write. Doesn't matter like if you are using that in global scope or in this customer scope. So this doesn't matter. So if you are using this customer service, so through that any of the other BR, you will be able to fetch that script include. But in this script include, you are querying a table of CS of table ABC. This is table T. Say T denotes table. So you have created a customer service table, but you have not selected this allow configuration. So in that case, you are querying and writing this script include, and in this script include where you're fetching the function where it is queried this table where it is in CS scope, but allow configuration is not selected, then in that case, this BR will going to be failed. So you have to just set this as allow configuration in your table. And after that, this gonna work perfectly. Okay. So this is true. Out of scope application can create business rules when allow configuration is selected. Okay. Another thing, not only the business rule, like client script also, new fields also, and UI actions also, you will be able to control that. Into the next question. which defines relationship between field in import table set table to field in ServiceNow table or existing ServiceNow table. So let me tell you what is import set and this transform map, this kind of things we used as an ETL, like extract, transform, load. Like when the end user want a bulk upload, then we just do this kind of transformation, and then this kind of things comes into play. Like uh, you do create import set table, and you just map it through your existing table, right? So what is the thing that it create a bridge? So what is the thing that create a bridge? So there is a transform map. So this create a bridge. Okay, so this is your import set table, and this is your uh, existing table in Snow, and this transform map is basically act as a bridge. Okay, this act as a bridge. So this you just define the rules that hey, this table in import set table we have X field, and in the existing table we have this Y field. So you create this through transform map. You tell it, and once this kind of thing is done, the flow designer is also used in this one to create the workflow, like how the things will be mapped out. So yeah, this relationship is basically transform map will be correct, that create relationship between your import set table and an existing field in Snow table. I'm going to next question. Sorry, just network got cut off. Okay, forget about this. Now going to this question. Sorry, again my network just cut off or disconnected. Okay, going to next question. If create create module is selected when creating a table, when creating a table, what is the new module's default behavior? What is new module default behavior? So default behavior will be display a list of all record from the table. So usually, like when you create a new table, you will get one options like, do you want to create modules for that? So you know that module, like in the navigation menu, you get this option. So yeah, so it will just list out all the records from that table. So this module will be the default behavior. Now going to next question. think I'm still in 34 where I did the mistake. Okay, here I did the mistake. Okay, just forget about it. So I'll correct this one as 34 again. Okay. Which cannot be debugged using field watcher. Okay. So what is the thing that you can't debug this field watcher? I think this field watcher is used in client side validations kind of debugging. Okay, so in that case you will be able to get some options in the exam like script include, client side script, and business rule, access control. So yeah, some of the things like you will get. So in the script include, you will not be able to use the field watcher and script include. Just where you can use like you can use in business rule, you can use in access controls, client script. Okay, but in script include you won't be able to use field watcher. Now going to next question. Which of the following is a part of client-side scripting API? Which is client-side scripting API? Scripting API. You will get options like GS, like glide system object, option A, GSP. Here you will get the glide system. You will get this in bracket here or here, wherever. But client side. So which use the client side. So as I already told earlier, like GS is used in only server side. Workflow.scratchpad. Workflow.scratchpad. This is heavily used in business rule, but most of the people don't use it because I think most of the people don't know this one. Like from this scratchpad is mostly used to call the server side data directly in your client side. So don't you have to write a GS or script include. So through this .gs scratchpad, you will directly be able to use or you will be directly be able to fetch your server data. So if you want some data from the field, then you can just directly use this .scratchpad. So this is not a client side. This is providing server side. G user. Okay. Glide user. So this is correct. G user we use in client script. Current and previous objects. This is different kind of thing. So this API, this is API, this is API. So yeah, this is used in the server script, but your correct one is this one, G user. Going to next question. Which of the following are configured in email notification? Which following configured in email notification? Okay. So keep in mind like what are the things, uh, how to send that. So how you will be able to send that? That does not provide how you will send it. So in the email you will mostly send like whom to send that, like who will receive that. Okay, who will receive that, and what will be your content, what will be your content, and when do you want to send that. So how like you trigger this, either like you're triggering through business rule or say UI actions. You can trigger through this by creating an event registry. Okay, event registry you create first, and event registry you define in your email, where your email contains this, who who will receive that, what will be your content, and when to send that. So this will be contained in your email. Through UI action, you will define this event that you created. You will call this event, and once event will be triggered, your business rule will take care of that. So this option will be incorrect. Rest all this will be correct. So you will get that in multiple. Okay, this is multiple answer. Say if it is A, B, C, and D, so B, C, D will be always correct. Now going to next question. Fastest way to create and configure record producer. Create and configure record producer. So if anyone of you don't know like what is record producer, so it is similar kind of like catalog form. So but this work is like basically to create records in your table and not to build kind of workflow. Okay, so in catalog form we obviously use the flow designer, we set the workflow, but in record producer you are not setting any kind of workflow. So yeah, so in the record producer is mainly used to create the records in the table. So the shortest way is to table open table in table record, in table record, and select the add to service, and select add to service catalog related links, catalog related links. So this will be your correct option. You can simply go to the records and just open that record in the related list, or you'll be able to find that. Open the table in table record and select add to service catalog related links. So this option will be your correct. This is the fastest way of creating the record producer. Okay. Now going to the next question. In what order are ServiceNow access control evaluated? In what order ServiceNow controls evaluated? Option correct answer will be table and field. Table. Yeah. Not table record, not field table, but first table and then field. Right, in access control, it just do that. And we search like there is also, you will get some question like the flow, like how we check in access control. Like option will be like most generic to most specific. Other option will be most specific to most generic, but the correct option will be most specific to most generic. Like first you most specific record should be met, and then most generic we just take. So that also we will see that in later, like the real question how they will ask. So this is your correct option, like in what order service no control evaluated. So first we evaluate table and then field. Correct will be this one, and rest other will be incorrect. Now going to next question. Fine. Does not contain in display BR, display business rule. Okay, BR means business rule. So what does not contain? So answer will be previous. Like in the script business rule, you see like current, previous, this kind of things. So if this is display business rule, then you will not be able to access this previous data of that field. Okay, so previous is not available in display BR. And there is another question you will get, like what not in a before BR. So in this one, G scratch pad. So this G scratch pad you won't be able to access in before business rule. Okay, so keep in mind these two things. This one and this question. Display, we don't have access to previous, and in before we don't have to this access to G scratch pad. Going to next question. What is not supported in Flow Designer? Not supported Flow Designer. Many options you will get, like run a flow from a metric based trigger. So that we can do that. Obviously, we know that. Test a flow with rollback. Do we have a rollback function? No. So this will be a correct option. Test a flow with rollback. So this is your correct answer. So you can't just roll back your flow and just do the things. So usually in workflow, you just need to modify that and just not to roll back that. We don't have that versioning functionality in workflow. Okay. And other options you will get, use delegated developer. We have that for feature as well. Call a subflow from a flow. Yes, we have that option. But testing a flow with rollback is not supported. Okay. So this is the correct option. Now going to the next question. What available in global application? So this is again a controversial. You will see many let me say, just do research on this question. So there are many controversial questions. So you will get options like ATF, automated test framework, B, let me type full, okay, automated test framework, delegated development, delegated development, delegated development, C, flow designer, D, source control. So you will be able to see the ATF for sure, flow designer for sure, and delegated development, no, you will not see. Source control, this is main confusion, but here where I can see this question, so here it is written as correct source control, but if you search, I'm not able to see this source control, but here it is written, so please do a research on that. But I'm pretty much sure that ATF and the flow designer is presented in global application scope, so please do that research on this one. I'm going to next question. Which is not UI action type? So UI action, like in the forms we create buttons, related links, and list record choices. When you select any list of record you have been present, and you just select and you go at the top right, and just see many menus. So there, this one you can create. So options you will get like form buttons, form button, yes, you get a form button that I just tell you. Form choice, no. This form choice, we don't get this kind of form choices, right? So these are just a form field, a choice field we have created with. There we only get these choices and not through a UI action. List banner button, list banner button. I told you, like when it is list of records, when you do the checkbox and just go top right and just select, see the many choices. So this list banner button, list banner button, the list choice, list choice. This also you get list choice, this list banner button you get. Going to next question. When creating new application file in scoped application, cross scope access is turned on by default in which of the following? So in scoped app or application, cross scope. So cross scope is on by default in which of following? So I think this is in table. Okay. So in table, you usually see like in configure table can read and configure access this thing. This thing also like cross scope access privilege. You see this button. So this will be automatically be checked when you create new table. So in the table, you see it by default. Rest and are not correct. Like you'll get another option like rest message script include workflow, but all are incorrect. So only table it will be on by default. I'm going to the option. Not debugging strategy for client script. Not debugging, not a debugging strategy for client script. For client script. So answer will be gs.log. This is not client script debugging style. This is server script. So this is not one. Other you will see like what are the other that you can see. Use gform dot add info message. Add info message. You can use gform add info message. JS log you can use. Field watcher you can use. Not this is watcher. I know my writing is very bad. Field watcher. Okay, there's things you can use in your client side. Gform add info message, JS log, field watcher, but you can't use gs.log. So you have to select this option gs.log. Now 45. Available in both studio and git repository. Repository. So answer will be create branch. Create branch. This source control operation. Source control operation. This is a source control operation. So you will get only this option create branch. So it is available in both studio and git repository. This is common create branch option there. So this create branch is nothing but this is a source control operation. Now you will get one more like why we use JavaScript. So we'll get a question like application developers configure, configure ServiceNow using JavaScript. So you have to select, extend, and add functionality. As I already told this, we support only, not only, but JavaScript. We mainly write JavaScript, right? JavaScript code to add and extend functionality. So why this one is correct? We extend and add. So in ServiceNow, we have many out of the box feature as it is a SaaS application, and there are many things that is out of the box. We just do configurations, right? So in the backend, it is in JavaScript mainly. So you write in JavaScript to add and extend some functionality there. So yes. Another option you will get like configure the outgoing email display name. No, that is not correct. Enable the right click to edit the context menu on application in the navigator. So this is again not correct. Customize the organization's company logo and banner text. So all these are useless, right? So we usually use this to extend and add functionality. Okay, so now going to next question. Next one important. This is important, like benefits of extending table from task table and extending a table from task table when we create new application, create new app. Okay, what are the benefits? So this is again multiple answer, multiple, and this is multiple option, and multiple options will be correct. Extend logic from parent table will be automatically applied to the new table. Yes, this is correct. Existing logics will come from parent. So whatever you are extending to your child table or new created, you are extending from task table. So the existing logic will be carried forward to your new table. Okay. So this thing you can add like this will be some budgets will be different, but yeah, you will get this option. So you have to select this one. Use existing field with no modifications. Yes, this is also correct. Use existing field with no modification. This also is correct. When you extend the table, so you don't need to just do modification. So this will automatically be inherited, all those existing field and anything. All records will be copied. No, this is not correct. Okay, so I'm writing this in different color. All records will be copied. This is incorrect. So benefit is only this one. D. You can repurpose existing field by simply changing the label. Yes, this is very useful. Okay. You can simply change label and simply change label and repurpose it, or you will get option like you can repurpose existing field by simply changing the label. So I've just written in different manner, so I just use my own word, but yeah, this option you will get. So mainly thing is just existing logic will be inherited, existing field will be inherited, simply change label, So these are benefits. So mainly like when you inherit, you will face this thing. So this changing label. So you will widely use this one when you are inheriting the task table. So this is important one. So all records will not be copied. So this is incorrect, and rest all three will be correct. Now going to next question. Maximum test cases. Maximum test cases can be added to ATF. So this is very simple. So ServiceNow provides great features. So they will not limit kind of thing. So obviously this is like there is no such limit. Option will be there is no such limits. You can have one suit with many test cases. Okay. You can have one suit with many test cases. This will be your correct option. Other option you will get that the limit depends on ServiceNow instance version. That is not correct. So obviously ServiceNow is a great environment. I would say I love doing that. So this doesn't depend on ServiceNow instances. So you can just have as many as test cases just in on one test. What do you say? One suit within one suit you can have as many as test cases. Other option you will get like the limit depends on ServiceNow instance version, and incorrect. The limit depends on the type of application, whether it is global or custom scope. No, this is obviously not making sense. So this is incorrect. The limit depends on type of application, whether it is in global scope or custom scope ServiceNow instance. So I think most of them are repeating options. So I'm not writing these options so that you should not confuse that. So basically you can have as many as test cases within one suit. Okay. So just keep in mind. Going to the next question. How to access field of record producer? Field, or let me tell it, how to access value of field from record producer field. Record producer field. Okay. Answer will be producer dot variable name. So this depends, right? So it depends on your variable name. So producer will be same, and this variable will be basically the what variable backend name you have using. So if I'm using say u field x, then I will just simply write producer dot u underscore field x. So I'll be able to fetch the value of that record producer field. Okay. So producer dot variable name will be used. So it is my exact name. So you will get some option like producer dot variable underscore name like this, but that is not correct. This is only correct. It will be the same backend name, and not like you have using like they say pro um, producer dot variable name. It is saying kind of like here I have u filled x. So they are saying producer dot u filled x name. So it is saying like that. So we should not use this. So we'll use this one. Directly will fetch like this producer dot just the variable pattern name. Yeah. Now going to next question. What is not correct? What is not correct? Not correct when extending an existing table. Existing table. Again, this is regarding the extending from one table to another table. We are creating one table and existing from the task table, this kind of example. So options are the new table inherits all of the field from the parent table. So we already seen previously, like, yes, it inherits all the field, it inherits all the behavior. You can simply change the name, this label, and you can just repurpose that. So no, so what will be your answer? That what is not incorrect? So you will get an option like you must script and configure all required behavior. Yeah. So this is correct because this is ideally not correct when extending a table, because when you usually extend that table, so all your rules, whatever written on your base table or parent table, it will automatically be inherited. So you don't need to do that. So this will be your correct option. The other option you will see the table inherits all of the field. So yes, it is correct. The new table inherits the functionality built into the parent table. Yes, it is also correct. The parent's table access control are evaluated when determining access to the new table record and field. The ACLs are determined. Okay. So yes, this is also correct. So ACLs are determined when you are just in extending any table. ACLs are evaluated obviously, and the access to new table. So yeah, and you must script and configure all requirements. This is incorrect. So obviously they are asking for not correct. So this will be your correct answer. Must script and configure all required behavior. That is not required. So this is correct. Now going to 51. Rule. A role required to role in source control, source control, source control operations. Roles in source control operations, such as features like importing application, importing app from from source control. Second, linking an application to source control, linking an app to source control, app to source control. So what role is required here? What role is required? So answer you have to write. This is multiple answer. Multiple. Writing is, I know my writing is very bad, but just cooperate with it. Just create mm, your notes, your own notes. That will be better. You will get a more understanding on that if you're creating your own notes. This is just I'm creating to just showcase you like what are the things we asked. So pretty much, yeah, I'm confident that you will be passed successfully. So not through this video, but I'll creating several video. So to that you need to follow all those videos to pass your CAD exam. So it is not just about passing. So you have just already walked through my previous timelines this year. So yeah, now you will get option like admin, git admin, source control. Your my writing is bad. Sorry. Source control, and now source control admin. Source control admin. Okay. So I think you must have maybe guessed already. So admin, yes, admin can do anything, right? So some of the things are elevated, we need to elevate that admin that is basically on the ACLs and other things. So, but yeah, admin can do anything. So yes, admin needs to be selected. Git admin, no. Source control, yes. Git control admin, we don't have that any kind of this kind of role. So admin and source control have the ability to import app from source control and link an app to source control. They can link an app, they can import an app. Yeah. So admin and source control is the correct option. So you have to select this two. Yeah, this one. Going to next. Which object which objects can you use in schedule script execution or schedule job script? Scheduled jobs. So what script we support in schedule job? Answer will be, this is single choice, so glide system, that is GS, and glide record. Glide record. Yeah, this is correct. In the schedule jobs, this is mainly right server side, and I think we have other options as well, like not able to recall, I guess current we use, but leave that thing. But don't follow me, just you can just do a research. But yes, glide system and glide record supports that. So yeah, so schedule jobs, you have to select this option, glide record. You will get other option like glide system and current, that is not correct. Glide user and glide record, no, that is not correct. Glide system and glide record, yes, that is correct. This is only correct. Glide record and glide current, no, not true. So only glide system and glide record is true. Going to next question. Um, Steps in utility script include. So what are the things we do? So the class, you have to create that. So you will get, this is multiple option. So various kind of things you do, multiple. Just writing this like this because this is multiple. Everywhere I have written like this. So please just follow, or just you can already know that I'm writing this as a multiple everywhere. So option A will be script the function. Script the function. Yes, you write the functions and you just call the function. So this is correct. Create a class. Yes, you can create a class and you create that. And you just simply write those, what do you say, the functions, and you just reuse that within that class. So, yeah. Create a prototype object from the new class. Yes, we create it. Create and create a prototype. Just create a prototype object from the class. We have created an several function within that class, and we just call that through this dot, that function that you've defined in your class. So this is talking about that one. So yes, you can create a prototype object from that class. And talking about D, identify the table. Identify the table. You must have already known that this is not correct, right? So using glide new glide record, and you just query that table. So that is not required, firstly. But the base thing is this one: create class, create functions, create prototype object from the class. Okay, so identify the table. This is not required, so you have to select on this three: function, class, prototype, object from the class. So these are correct. Going to next question. Which is true? Which is true? This is regarding, just you will get many options, but UI policy action execute before the UI policy script. Okay. UI policy actions executes before the UI policy script. So this is talking about the code. So here, if you see, this is your UI policy. You get one code here, right? And in the related list, if you see here, you define the action basically, and define the field and what needs to be mandatory and default kind of thing. So which one is execute faster? So this action, okay, let me write here action, and this is script. This will be executed first and this will be executed second. So UI policy action will be executed first and then the script will be executed after that. Okay. Going to next question. And here, let me just provide you a flow so that you can remember that general order. So UI script execute first, then client script, then UI policy action, then UI policy script. This is your general flow. So first UI script will be, then client script execute, then UI policy action or UI policy script. Okay. So next one. How should application access should be configured to prevent all other privately application scope from creating configuration record on an application data table? Okay, so how should application access be configured to prevent all other private application scope from creating configuration record on an application data table? So answer, like what it is asking basically, like through some script, uh, you have written say business rule or whatever thing you have written, okay, and through that business rule you are doing something, and you have your business rule is in global scope and your table is in CS scope, and the business rule you are writing some logic that doing some kind of modifications in your table or creating some records in your table. So how you can just deny this kind of thing? So you can just set the accessible from from field value to this application only, this application scope only. So again, in the table configurations, you will get this accessible from, so you can just set to this application only. You will get option to this application or all application scope. So you have these two options. So you have to select accessible from field to this application only. Okay. So option you will get like all application scope, and second you will get this application scope only. So you have to select this application scope only. Okay. Other options I forgot to tell, like set the application from field value to all application scope and deselect the can create option. No, this is not correct. Set the accessible from field value to this application scope only and deselect the all allow application to this table through web service option. No, this is not. You must create access control to prevent all other application. No, this is not correct. So this is only correct. So you will get this field in configuration this table. You'll find in related list basically. Application access, something in related list. Going to next question. Blue color message at top of form. Which line provides you that? G form G underscore form dot add info message. This will provide you a blue color at the top. So if you have this one, see that in a blue color like this, you see in blue. So through this G form underscore add info message, you will be able to see that. So this option correct. Gform dot show field message. This is not correct. Gform dot show fild msg. So this is also not correct. Gform dot add info message. This is not correct. So not in the sense you will see this message in small msg, this kind of thing, but you have to remember this one. So it can be small, this can be, but this is I is capital, A is small, M is capital. So G underscore form dot add info message. This is correct one. Into next question. 7. What are some of the consideration to document as part of business process? Consideration to document a part of business process. So this question is again very important. So this is asking like when a new solution come in ServiceNow, then what things you need to follow. So first, like you will get business problem, data input output, data output, input output, user stakeholder and process step. The process step. So this option is correct. Any option will come. So this is a business problem, data input output, user stakeholder and process step. Other option you will get business problem, data input output, project schedule, process step. Not correct. So keep in mind, you Just remember this by heart. So first business problem will come, and you will go in your instance and do some kind of configuration and check either it is feasible or not. Then again you need to report that to your user stakeholder, and then you just proceed with the step, right? So this thing we follow in ServiceNow basically, and we just can't just do the development and started doing that everything. No. So first you need to take the business problem, do your configuration, check the feasibility, then report to your user stakeholders that yes, this is possible, this is not possible. So you need to tell them, and then just after that, whatever they say, you need to follow the process step. So just remember this by heart. You will see any other disordered manner or other options in between that, but this will be your correct steps. Going to 58. Reports can be created by right click on table list record. What table we can create? So when you see the list of record, right? So I'm saying, so this is a table X, and you see many records here, and just did the right click, and menu comes, and here you see some option, right? So what reports you are able to click quickly? So you will be able to create bar chart and pie chart. So you can quickly create this one. So if you just do and right click this, and you will be able to see that create bar chart and pie chart. So yes, you will be able to create only these two, not histogram lines, not any kind of thing. So bar chart and pie chart is correct one. You'll be able to create it quickly, very quickly. Now 59. How do I make my accept solution widget on page load in service portal? Options you will get: use ng show, use ng app, use ngf, ngfvc. Ng show is used when we just want to show something. Okay, this is Angular 1.5 XL. So this is regarding the portal widget. So this is something like you want to show, but here they are showing like, how do I make my accept solution widget? Like they are asking about the condition, like when this needs to be shown. Like basically they are asking about the condition, right? So ngf, this is incorrect. Ng app, this is again incorrect. So ngf is correct one. So this is conditional, like we used if statement, and we check condition in the similar way in the HTML field in the portal widget. We use ngf, and through that we check either this condition exists, satisfy. So if that accept my solution, then inside that all the UI part, the HTML that you have written, will display in your UI. Okay, so this ngf is used. Going to next question. uh, Return true. Okay, true when logged in user has only catalog admin role. Okay, so catalog admin they're asking. So again, you will get some like g user dot has role exactly. So user dot you have to select has role exactly catalog admin. Okay, you'll get another like g user dot has role from list but your correct one is g underscore user dot has role exactly catalog admin. So this one is your correct option. Just forget about this one. I don't want to just confuse you. Okay, so as this is talking about the catalog form and where how do you will check that. So in the catalog line script if you have written and we were checking something like catalog that catalog admin exists or not, or having only the catalog admin role. So g underscore user dot has role exactly will provide you catalog true false based on that. Yeah. The last question I will go of which of the following not a purpose of application scoping, not purpose of application scoping. Answer will be provide a way of tracking user who developed an application or develop an app or application, whatever. So this is not the purpose, right? So what are the purpose? Provide a control for how script from the other scope can alter tables in scoped application. Okay. So usually we control this kind of thing, like if the tables are in CS scope and other in global scope. So that controls we just configure that and just take a control of that. So provide a relationship between application artifacts. Yes, this kind of thing provide a namespace prefix and scope name to prevent cross application scope. Name collision. Yes, we do that. Prefix we provide like CS we have created. We use customer service dot table name. So this kind of things we provide that. But we don't provide like only this kind of track that who like which user had developed which thing. So we don't have this kind of bad use cases on that. So mostly like we control the table accessibility and we control like prefixes so that we can avoid this collision of the name and provide a relationship between the artifacts. So yes, so this kind of things we provide. Now finishing all those questions right now, you may be seeing that this is just done and now you are ready with that, but now I'll provide a PDF link so that you can just revision that. So I've just talk about just 61 questions. So that will not be enough for you. So I want you like to pass and I want an accuracy of 100%. So I'll be providing like 200 questions or something, a list of PDF so that you will be able to revise that. So I don't think of outside of that questions you will be able to face. You will get any question, but you can get that. But if you have revised that, the questions that I provided you, so I'm pretty much confident that you will be able to pass with this only. And yes, it's not just about passing the exam, but you need to just get a clarity. And you, if you are really interested in building service now and you just love building the service now, then yes, it is. No, I will advise like first know the basics of the service now and then apply for the CAD exam. But yes, From this, I'm making sure that without knowing the ServiceNow and you just practice these questions, you will be able to get the basics of that. So basically, you need to know. I'll just let you know the very basic things. So you need to know the use of server databases like server where we control the database, right? Database. We control database through what? We control through ACL, like it is predefined, right? Uh, we don't do any kind of workflow on it. So once we have defined it, we can't do the changes. And the other thing is you need to know BR, that is business rule. So it also controls your database kind of thing, database operations. Like if you want to change your field based on what thing is happening, say a field is going to status X, then you want the field value to be Y, then in that case, you should use the BR, right? In that case, your BR is very important. And in the ACL, like which user needs to have a control on your table record. So which user can do the CRUD operations, right? Create, read, update, delete. So this is by default. So and after that, you want to add some strict policy, you want to do something, you want to show the message, you want to event the trigger, uh, you want to trigger the event, then these kind of things can be done by the BR. So the BR is very important to learn to pass your CAD exam, and not even the CAD, this CSA exam, Certified System Administrator, you will be required to do that. So controlling your database mostly ACL and BR, if you know that these things, so you will be able to get that. So and going to your client side. So to control your form behavior, like if you loaded a form and you want to make some field mandatory, you want to show a loader kind of thing, like when of status of that record this changes to status X or Y, and you want to just show a loader kind of thing, then you can do this through client side scripts, like client script UI policy, like just setting the mandatory and read only. You can just use the UI policy and just simply do that based on your condition, and you can write a script obviously, and you can just do an advanced version. This is advanced version, this is just a base version. So pretty much this is that. So to control your client's side thing behavior of your form, and this will not be impacted your database operations. You can't do the database operations, okay? So this is not like a fully correct. Like if you have called your script include, and when you are loading that, something like I've so sure told you, like when you are showing your loader, and when your loader ends, and again you are calling some script include, then you can just do a database operations as well. So what script include is again will be needed. So in going to the server database, so server script is here again, script include, where your utility will be handled. Utility functions. So functions, this can be called in client side in business rules. So business rules, something like you can do client side logic implementation, and the database implementation you can use BR. So and you can just do the form behavior changes, you can use the client script UI policy. So this thing you have to just know the very basics, and just so you, again you have to know the tables, like tables and columns. Okay, like table relationship. So relationship. So if you got to know the how table works, how like a reference field you are using and just showing in the related list, and how you are fetching this kind of thing. So you once you know that this table relationship, and how this works, and how you are pulling that. So once you got to know the tables and column, you will be mastering everything, I guess. So yeah. So one other thing is like a record producer, and this thing like record producers and catalog item. You control this through catalog UI policy and catalog uh, UI action on catalog client script, right? Catalog client script. We control through this kind of things, catalog, record producer and catalogs. Okay, so this, the behavior you want to control. So utility is your script include where you write your or database kind of thing, utility script. So yeah, so main thing is your table. You know the basic creating the table. You know how it is referenced through other tables. You know how the basic during the glide records. So glide record, this glide record, you know that. So this is pretty much the way. Sorry, glide record. Glide record is mostly used to just query your table doing some operations. So, so we do this on tables and columns. So we write this table name here and just do conditions and just do whatever we do there. So main thing is understanding the table. So once you have understood the table, how it works, and you know that your client side behavior, the form changes behavior based on your situations, what is your requirement. Once you do that, you will be able to crack this one. And script include, you as use it as an utility where you use this as a BR, use it in ACL, everywhere you use it, wherever you want to just do a data operations or the database operations. So ACL is basically control your CRUD operations on your table by default. And if you want to do some database operations, want to do update change, you can use the BR. You can also just act or work as a client side as well. It works in both. Uh, and flow designer. So you have to know flow designer. Flow designer. This basically creates a workflow for you. You use it in catalog form or item. You use it in transform map, or say import table detail. So yeah, so if you want to do something like when you create a record, you call flow from subflow, you call, yeah, and many kind of things. So you have to know the flow designer to create the workflow. You know the record producer, you know the catalog form, catalog UI policy, you can control the behavior, database operation, basically your script include tables and columns, you know the basic. So I would suggest the first, understand this, glide record this, how this is nothing but your SQL. So once you know this kind of doing database operations, how this work, how you are doing that things. So once you get to know this thing, trust me, it will be very easy for you. First, this one, client script. This is very important. Yes, important, but more important is ACL. Okay, ACL like the controls that controls your table. It controls your table um, accessibility. Script include is very important at third. Script include is utility function where you want to do some kind of database operations or database controls you want. So in the functions you have written, like you want to return some field value in a bulk, and you have written a script include functions there, and you have just queried this through glide record, and you are pulling that in the JSON format or whatever you are returning that, and you're calling in business rule. You can call that in business rule. So after that, business rule is important. I would say business rule is very important thing. So you have to know that when to run business rule, how weights work, how conditions you are applying. So pretty much business rules is very important. You want to do some kind of client changes, only want to show UI. You want to do some kind of UI changes only, and you don't want any changes in your database actually. So you can use UI policy and client script. As I showed you, this is advanced version. This is just a base version. So after that, I would tell you this is 3. I've given priority. After that, I've given this priority as 4 client script. And now, once you know that, record producer, this will be also come into play, like if you are purely low code, no code, and you want to do very less code, then many people just love this kind of thing, creating record producer in catalog form, and many people feels that. So I'm giving this as 5, but it doesn't mean that I'm giving 5 and you should not learn that. But this is all things you need to learn, that this all are basics. Okay, flow designer is very important. Just giving you 3 again with business rules. So I'm just giving a number that how it works, but rest you have to learn everything. So these all are basics. Okay, I've given you. So I'll give you the PDF. So now I'm closing this video, but I hope that you liked my video, and whenever you feel that you are able to pass, just provide a comment. I'm not forcing you to provide a comment, but you can provide a comment. That will be get like kind of, it will provide me an inspiration to work more. So yeah, thank you. I'm just closing this one. So I hope you liked my video, and I'm just removing my specs. So yeah. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much for having me. So I've just created to help you so that you should know better in ServiceNow. So but I think my just aim is to just make you a better developer in ServiceNow. And yeah, if you want any kind of other things, I've built several kind of things, I from the last 2 years I am just building a data science no data science work as well, and also handling the life sciences project within the ServiceNow, where I have implemented various third-party integrations like Power BI, GenAI integrations I have did, and I'm providing the support as well, like L1, L2, what kind of supports will be provided, like password rotations, and working with the tech ops with third-party uh, peoples, where we have integrated our ServiceNow application, ServiceNow to ServiceNow integrations. I've done several kind of things, and mainly depicted in a life sciences project. I have do some kind of experience on doing the financial projects, like building out of the box, like without using the what do you say, this performance analytics. I know this is very kind of boring, but we were able to achieve, like through high charts, this bootstrap libraries, we were able to build a tremendous kind of a dashboard. It is really competing with Power BI, and I'm just overwhelmed on saying this because this is just the kind of proud thing. So yeah, if you need, I'll make another video so that you will be able to build that out of the box, like customized dashboard. Many things I have done, like assessment take two, like survey and assessments. I have through the survey and assessment, I have built several workflow, questionnaire template calculators, and the assessment take two page, this out of the box page. I have completely customized it. You should know, in the if you go to UI page and you search for assessment underscore take underscore two, I have completely customized it, and worked on based on our use cases, and in the catalog form. When you go to the, we say, you land into that RITM and something, right? So that one I have also customized, you will not be able to see that, and you will get a custom landing page instead of that. This kind of thing you will never find in the internet, but yeah, I'm able to achieve that somewhere, somehow. So yeah, let me know if you need something else, but yeah, I'll provide the PDF of that, and I hope you will pass that exam. I'll hope for your best. So please do your research, and if I feel like I'm wrong somewhere, then you can just mention in the comment. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay.